Hey listeners, how are you doing? This is Veronica Lino, and I'm here interviewing an amazing young man who's actually doing work in the community with his fraternity. I would love to introduce him to you guys. His name is Eddie, and I want to really know, Eddie, if you can just tell me a little bit about your background,
Sure.
Where you grew up in San Antonio, and then we can kind of move into what it is that you do for the community, what your heart's desire is, and what your passion is.
Actually, okay. My name is Eddie Johnson. I'm actually not from San Antonio.
Okay.
I'm originally from Minnesota.
Okay.
Moved around a little bit. I went to school in Illinois. Been in San Antonio since 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I currently work for the city of San Antonio as a senior business analyst in the project management office.
Okay.
So that's a little bit about me. In terms of what my passions are, I love music.
Right.
I produce music on the side, just as a hobby.
Okay.
In addition to that, I'm really big about social issues and seeing how we can do things to change the culture.
Okay.
So that's really why I'm kind of leading the front on this particular event we're talking about today.
Okay. And I believe Eddie is a millennial, right?
Yes.
You look like one.
Yeah. I just turned 28 on Thursday.
God bless. 28 on Thursday. So I want to know. Everyone always wants to know why. Mm-hmm. I know that equality, to end racism, prejudice, economic, ending the there's so many issues going on when it comes to race or social justice. So I really want to know what pushed you into this arena in your life at such a young age. What is it that is really your driving force? Was there something that happened in your life, an incident or situation?
Not really. Honestly, I feel like God has blessed me. Being from where I'm from, I feel like I had the opportunity to really not have to go through much in life.
Right.
Looking at what I see on television, even just driving down the street, things that I see in our community, I want people to be or to have what I was able to grow up with.
Right.
Be able to have that level playing field, be able to go to school, get an education, things like that. So in that regard, I feel like social issues and having the ability to, I feel like I have the opportunity to do that and help my fellow man. So I feel like that's where I'm coming from on that.
Okay, that's awesome. So exactly what is your fraternity doing to be a change agent within the community of San Antonio? I'm really interested to know.
Well, if you look at our aims, manly deeds, scholarship, and love for all mankind, that's primarily what we focus on as an organization. So if you look at this event and many of the other events that we do in the city and actually around the world, this is just one thing that we're doing to help. Okay.
And what is the name of the event?
This is going to be a town hall. The event's title of the town hall meeting actually is United We Stand, Surviving Racism in America. So that's really the overall topic we're going to be discussing.
That is awesome. Do you guys have any keynote speakers?
We're in the middle of confirming some, being that this was originally scheduled for August 26th.
Right.
And then, of course, the unfortunate weather conditions that happened with Hurricane Harvey, it's being postponed for this next Saturday on September 9th. But we're looking at having Chief McManus attend the event, Councilman Cruz, Shaw, and then some other dignitaries around the city as well. Okay.
And what do you guys want to get out of the event? What message would you like people in attendance to leave with?
This is really just a start. We want to have we want to start the conversation.
Right.
We want to let people know that race is socially constructed. Our fellow man really is not that different from us. We need to be able to come together, put our differences aside, and just move forward. Really.
Right. This is amazing. I think this is so great. Do you guys, I know you were talking about other things that you do in the community, your fraternity, but post this one, since this is just the initial start, are you guys going to be doing any other ones coming up soon in the near future? Or I know you guys also do community work, but do you have any community work that is tailored towards shining a light on social justice issues?
This is really a new venture that we're going to venture into.
Okay.
nothing planned as of now, but definitely we will be having some more events, initiatives in the near future.
Okay, and will you be in San Antonio heading this event up, for the remainder of this year?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Awesome. So if you'll tell me a little bit about I know you said you really didn't have a struggle, growing up, but I'm just curious as to, I guess I was also kind of separated from the struggle, but I was still in it.
Right.
So I'm curious as to how someone with your background can be touched to kind of go serve this community. So I do want to kind of dive deeper into your story of your why. And like, were you sitting on the couch one day and then God just poked you and tapped you, or what?
I think it's just in my heart, to be honest with you.
Right.
God, I think He lays certain things on people's hearts, and I feel like community initiatives and community justice, social issues, focusing on things like that is just something that I enjoy doing and I want to do. I want all people to have equal rights. I want all people to have opportunities that I was afforded. So, that's really basically all it is. And
question, do you have any icons that you look up to?
To be honest with you, my family.
Right.
My mother and my father were very pivotal in my life. They raised me up, making sure I was believing in Christ. That was number one. And just making sure to give back.
Right.
So my parents definitely, yeah.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming out, Eddie. If you'll just do me a favor,
Absolutely.
If you can go over the event in detail,
Sure.
with location, time, and then what feedback you're looking for with the community of the viewers watching online, and then also via the internet as well.
Absolutely. So, again, the title of the event, United We Stand, Surviving Racism in America. It's going to be September 9th,
Okay.
Saturday, 2017.
Okay.
It's going to be from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
at New Creation Christian Fellowship.
Okay.
That's 8700 Four Winds Drive,
Okay.
78239.
That is all. So, are you a member in New Creation?
I'm not. I actually go to Antioch.
Okay.
Yeah, my frat brother, of course, Bishop Copeland. He is a pastor or bishop of the church. So.
Okay, that's awesome. My brother actually attends New Creation Church, and I've gone to they have a campus off of 150, kind of close to 151.
Yeah, they do. They have two campuses. Yeah.
So yeah, that place is amazing too.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for coming out. I actually do you have any questions that you get actually before I end this interview? Are there any questions like that are repetitive that you get from community members when it comes to exactly what it is that you're doing, or is there a need that's always coming up? Like, is there a subject matter within social justice that is more prevalent and one that needs to be more heavily addressed? I guess I want to ask.
Sure.
That you see.
I don't get too many questions from the community per se, but I feel like as a collective, I feel like racism, of course, is a big issue now, and to me, education is a big thing. The underprivileged. Things like that. So I think those two topics are primarily some of the things that we focus on as the organization, and some of the things that I want to focus on, correcting any issues and dealing with those two topics or issues.
Okay, and I guess
share with us your social sites.
Yes, and then if you can also get us your social media sites as well.
Sure.
But when it comes to, sorry, I have one more question. I'm just curious. When it comes to your solution in education,
yes,
what is your? I really want to know what your vision is for that and moving forward. Your personal one.
Sure. So, vocationally, I have aspirations of being a city manager.
Okay, awesome.
So, with that being said, I feel like there's a way to implement policies in which we can correct how schools are funded. Right.
Right.
I feel like a lot of or most schools in any state, city around the country, they're funded through property taxes.
Right.
So, if you look at the value of property on certain sides of town, right, in the hoods, whatever. There's no way that those schools can be able to afford the books, the technology that the schools need, right?
Right.
So in some way, there's got to be a way of how we can change that. So I feel like that's one of my goals in life is to see how we can change that entire perspective and how all that works.
Right. And I think that's awesome that you said that, because that also ties in with, I'm going to use this word, so that and gentrification.
Yes, that's a big thing for me too.
So how does that, right, because property value will decrease, and then the individuals living within that community
Right.
will normally be expelled, and then people buy a low and then sell high, and then
Right.
and and then you have the community that was once impoverished being rebuilt, but the people who we were actually supposed to be affecting have been
Displaced.
displaced.
Exactly.
So how would you, I guess, looking at the city manager aspect of that,
Right.
like how could you, in your mind, like what would be a solution to combat that? Because it's such a deep, it's such a deep issue.
It really all revolves around budget.
Right.
They pass budgets every year. There's
Right.
got to be a way in how we can reconstruct how the budget is dispersed.
Okay.
I mean, that's the number one issue. I feel like that's where it needs to start.
Okay. That's so awesome. So are you going to be the city manager soon?
I've said it, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I got a lot more legwork to do.
Right.
I'm just now in the project management office, so
Right.
yeah, I've got some years ahead of me.
I'm being silly, I know, but in the future, I definitely pray that you actually make it into that position because you have a vision for it, and then I know that I can tell that you kind of you know the ins and out of that and how that works. But before we go, if you can let us know how to reach you on your social media sites.
Sure, I'm gonna give the social media site for Alphas, so at San Antonio Alphas on Instagram. We're also on Facebook.
Okay.
A Facebook page. Personally, if you look me up on Facebook, it'll be Eddie the Third, so EDDIE space III.
Okay.
Same thing on Instagram.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming out, Eddie, and being on Rima Gospel Express. Thank you for actually what your organization is doing in the community, and then a huge thank you for the heart that you have. And I want to encourage you not to stop and continue to
Absolutely.
push forward.
Appreciate it. Thank you.